What's up, board game people? It's been a bit of an odd week for content on the channel, but now it's back to normal with some news. This week we have more Gen Con news, plenty of crowdfunding coverage, and even a bit of retail goodness to come. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's get into it. I don't get any money from game companies from my videos. I make them to help us all stay up to date with the latest happenings around the industry. If I get something wrong or we disagree about something, let's chat in the comments. First up, let's take a look at what's coming this week on crowdfunding. This week we have Nanolith, the cyberpunk RPG in a box, over on Kickstarter. Nanolith is launched this morning and funded in 45 minutes. It's blowing through stretch goals faster than the creators can keep up. We'll be taking a closer look at the campaign in a video tomorrow. Live now on crowdfunding, we have the Ancestors 3D printed statues campaign that I covered earlier this week. The campaign is the precursor to Blood Oak Chapter 1, which will be launching early next year. They are almost funded and still have over a week to go. Check it out if you get the chance. Also still live is Dead Reckoning: The Letters of Mark. Judging by the reception to that video, I've heard you loud and clear. Not so interested, I suppose, and that's okay. Kinfire Chronicles was delayed at the last moment, and we should hear more on when they plan to launch today. I'll keep you informed when I hear something. Coming up, well, right this very moment, I can't think of anything coming up for the end of this month. Let me know in the comments if you know of another campaign launching this month. I love finding sales and deals for all of you, but recently there haven't been too many. I found a couple this week worth taking a look at, though. Over on TGG Games, linked in the description below, they have clearance running on Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy, coming in at $109.99 for a Terran pledge. That's a pretty good deal. And Descent Legends of the Dark is almost half off at $89.99. These are great deals if you're looking for any of these games. Do note that TGG is extremely slow to ship you your games. They take around a month to ship in most cases, so keep that in mind if you order from them. Also, Miniature Market is currently running an 80% off sale on board games. I didn't find anything personally that I wanted, but go check it out and see if you can find anything you've been searching for. Lucky Duck and Van Ryder Games are back with another update for the Dark Quarter. First off, they want everyone to remember to fill out the Pledge Manager. It's open and almost 3/4 of pledges have already been completed. Art is ongoing and they're showing off some of the concept pieces that have been produced lately. Let's try mixing Figure 11 with Figure 12. That would be interesting. Writing is also progressing, but slower due to a need to incorporate everything into the application's framework. Dark Quarter is a beast on its own, and a little writer's retreat was in the cards. Another episode of the game has had a big chunk finished, and writing, programming, and testing continues. Skyrise remains on schedule, and all building renders have now been completed. Skyrise was on full display at Gen Con, and this update has a little spot on Paul R. Williams, one of the visionaries you can play as in the game. Pre-orders are live for anyone who missed the campaign and is itching for a copy. Steamforged Games is wasting no time with the rights for Rivet Wars in their hands, and they've already got Rivet Wars Reloaded heading to Kickstarter on September 6th. Rivet Wars is a dieselpunk-inspired tactical miniatures game where each player takes on the role of a commander of a Rivet army, representing one of the opposing factions. Set in the world of Rivet, the game features unique technology such as diesel-powered mechs, unicycle vehicles, and armor-plated cavalry. I'll keep an eye out for more details, but likely you'll have to wait until September for more information. Join us in the marvelous and magnificent Mojoverse, a terrifyingly televised realm of non-stop entertainment and jaw-dropping drama. We have a really special show for you tonight, folks. Bunch of upstart heroes think they can triumph over the trials before them, but will they actually manage to make a scene? Or will they drop off the charts like a bunch of has-beens? Stay tuned to find out. Fantasy Flight is giving us a preview of the Mojo Mania Scenario Pack for Marvel Champions. This scenario pack is a small 3-part campaign in which heroes can compete in the most dangerous reality show ever. The pack also contains 6 new modular encounter sets that can be added to any Marvel Champion scenario. More information in the link in the video description. Surprise! Middara had a booth at Gen Con after all. They'd forgot they paid for the booth the previous year, so with a bit of a scramble and some goodwill from Japanime Games, they were able to scrape together a booth and make a showing. In business news, they've hired an official project manager to help whip them into shape and hold them to the schedule. In this update, they continue their tradition of showing off several community creations, including a dice rolling app. They hope to have a manufacturing update out to us all soon. And the rest of the update is jam-packed with art and renders galore. We finally have another update on Hell. This time it has some meat to it. This update, they're diving into the playtesting and methodology they're using. They've extensively tested 2-player, 4-player, and solo all the way through the campaign with paid testing groups. The update is rife with details on how the testing was scored and the reactions of some of the playgroups. This is the last Mythic project that really holds any excitement for me, and it looks like the game is getting closer and closer to actually being produced. Sadly, the update has a one more thing moment at the end. TLDR is that they do not know if they'd like to ask for additional contributions for Hell just yet. They'll notify us at a later date if extortion payments need to be made, and I'm sure they'll include which street corner we can drop the money on. Remember to come alone or the inset gets it. We have several new releases for Marvel Crisis Protocol this week. This week, the Crimson Dynamo and Dark Star character packs hit shelves. You can also get the Red Guardian and Ursa Major. Last, they have the Malekith box up for sale. Malekith is stunning and truly unique to the game. As always, there are a ton of new releases for Warhammer this week. Hopefully some of these suit your particular flavor. In the Horus Heresy world, we're seeing the releases for the Sicarian Battle Tank, a Spartan Assault Tank, the Contemporary Dreadnought, the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought with ranged weapons, a Cataphracti Terminator Squad, a Tartaros Terminator Squad, a Legion Praetor with Power Axe, a Legion Praetor with Power Sword, and the Liber Mechanicum forces of the Omnissiah Army Book. For Underworlds, there was a single release of the Hexbane Hunters. In Warhammer 40k news, rumors are swirling that a hard reset is coming in 40k's new 10th edition. This is right in line with all of their other comments and musings about wanting to truly balance 40k. Honestly, balance is all good and great, but I'd rather just see the rules coming from a set amount of sources, and not spread across 400 books and 1,000 magazines. What do you think about a hard reset? I think it's probably about time, as long as if they decide to create new codexes for factions, they do so in a timely manner. For Final Girl, Wave 1 production is complete. They're getting ready to load everything onto ships and get it headed to their destinations. The Wave 2 files are almost all sent to the production facility, and proofing is underway. They're hoping that Wave 2 might ship early Q1 of 2023. The update includes some juicy art tealers and a Gen Con recap. Check it out for more details. In a little industry news, Asmodee is further working to corner the market on distribution for the US by grabbing English language versions of exclusive distributor rights for several companies. They've entered into a deal with BoardGamingTables.com to distribute their titles, including Kabuto Sumo, Fights, On Tour, and more. They're also grabbing the rights for English distribution of Awakened Realms titles, which I doubt I need to list for you guys. And finally, they've got the rights to the Pandasaurus game titles such as The Mind, Machikuro, Dinosaur Island, and more. As much as I like to rally against the corporatization of the hobby, it's great to see some big box titles getting put into mainstream distribution, and if acceptance of such is high, it could be a great thing for kickstarted big box games everywhere. Earth Under Siege Flashpoint posted an important update for backers who backed the non-English versions of the game. After exhausting all options, they've not been able to find a way to float the costs of both translating and printing the game materials in other languages. It's sad that it's come down to this point, and they regret waiting so long to inform backers, but it sounds like they really were working up to the buzzer trying to find a solution. They have the translations covered, but the cards, rulebooks, etc. cost too much to print in other languages for small batches. Their first update stated they would provide the translations in a PDF format, but after some discourse with the community, they're now taking a quick poll to see what options you would like them to pursue. For German and French languages, you're being presented with the options to pay for a language pack and get printed components, or to get the PDF for free, or to get a refund. For Spanish and Italian languages, the number of backers were far too few, and they can only offer the PDF translations or a refund. Head over to the update and tell them how you would like to proceed if this affects you. A new Wolverine pack for Marvel Champions was amongst the news teased at Gen Con. Wolverine will help cap out the mutant additions that they've been making to the game. Wolverine uses a risk-reward system, hurting himself to become stronger and more deadly. At Gen Con, Simon was handing out Gen Con exclusive promo Juggernaut cards for Xmen United if you sat for a demo. With Gen Con being the only way to get a hold of this rare card, the prices on the aftermarket are starting around $50 and reaching almost $100 in some cases. We got a bit of news for Celestial out of Gen Con. The game is already well along in development and hopefully will be produced in a much shorter time span than the previous projects. The campaign is set for early 2023 and will be distributed in an episodic format, with each episode being entirely self-contained. You can grab episode 2 if you wish and start there and have everything you need to play. It sounds like at least 3 episodes are currently planned. Deep Madness, the predecessor to Dawn of Madness, is headed back to Kickstarter in October with a reprint and new expansion. The new expansion contains new minis and some supersized versions of favorites from the original campaign. There is hope that some rule updates and fine-tuning will come with the reprint as well. Ark Nova will be receiving 2 new straight-to-market map packs in the near future. These new map packs will hopefully have better availability than the game has seen, as it's still difficult to get in some locations. The map packs are number 9, the Geographical Zoo, and number 10, Rescue Station. Fantasy Flight has announced a new Star Wars deck building game coming out sometime in 2023. Sadly, they lost me when it was related that this would not be one of their living card games. Sad days indeed. Star Wars, the one LCG that could rule them all. Well, very little was said of the game other than the clumsy title during the live stream. Hopefully we'll find out more in the near future. Avalon Hill has announced the 3rd edition of Betrayal at House on the Hill. This edition will come packed with more than 50 new haunts for more chills and thrills. The game tiles are more colorful and the lighting helps set the mood. This edition should also be more new player friendly, allowing new players to jump in and learn on the go. A new expansion for Destinies is coming down from Lucky Duck Games. The Witchwood expansion continues with the series' dark setting and choices, leading players through a new set of scenarios filled with new creatures, adventures, and folklore. No word yet on whether this is straight to market or coming to crowdfunding. That's a wrap. With so much goodness still coming out from everyone's Gen Con experiences, there will likely be some dripping down the pipe for next week. Quite a few projects are also due for big updates soon, so stay tuned. We'll be back with a Nanolith guide and more craziness later this week. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing so you won't miss out on anything. Big things are coming. Thanks to everyone watching and commenting. Stay cool, stay safe, and play something fun tonight.